We hope she does it again. She about to run it back with a double and a turkey and a quadruple, baby. Look, I'm just going to go ahead and give all of you a warning, a trigger warning, a volume warning, a headphone warning, this is not a drill warning. Seuss May won individual immunity, so things are about to get real loud, real crazy, real quick. So this is your warning for when that comes up. Okay, I'm not going to be holding this mic anywhere closer than but right here. What's up, everybody? My name's Nick.
And my name's Josh.
And we're here to give you
a reality check.
Period.
If you like all things reality TV, from Survivor to Big Brother, RuPaul's Drag Race, The Summit, The Traitors, we're your new best friends. We're here to give you a reality check on all things reality TV. So come here, pop a squat on the couch, and we're your new best friends to give you the reality tea.
Now let's get into this episode. Survivor 47, episode 8 kicks off. We have officially hit the jury mark. We are merged. It's, they're all acquainted.
As some would say, the game has officially started.
Yeah, the jury, it's kicked into high gear now.
And touching base on last week, when we were thinking, did they have Rachel walk home by herself? Was she at the camp alone? What was happening?
I told you.
She is by herself. She's there. And I'm like, girl, where's the light? She can't find the flint and steel. She can't make fire. She has no light. The poor girl sitting there by herself.
I just want to know how much time actually passed, because we see Rachel get there alone, and then the next jump cut is all of them returning.
Yeah.
So I'm curious how much time actually passed in between then. We see everybody return to camp, and what I want to talk about is my man, Soul, is again spinning what could have been a negative into another positive and creating the SSAs, Soul Secret Agents.
Where do I sign up? I volunteer as tribute.
Ooh, it's invite only.
And you thought that you were getting an invitation?
It's right here.
It's me. We see a little moment with Soul and Rachel, and they have a cute little I didn't know if he was going to let her know the next episode, hey, I was the one that helped you out. I gave you that advantage. But we saw them get together. He said to her, I thought that you needed this, and that's why I wanted to help you out.
Which is good. I mean, I feel like Soul really has finally started making connections. Whereas making, not even, I feel like he's made connections. I feel like he's making allies now.
Yes.
He's working more so the game into his personal connections. Because you even see in this episode, Kyle is like, oh my God, he's got such a great smile. He's so funny. He's interwoven. Yeah,
Kyle, don't be flirting with our man.
You better back away.
That's all I gotta say.
Do I need to show you the potato salad TikTok?
Do we need to give you another vegan hot dog?
But we see that Soul really is kind of weaving his way socially into the tribe. People like him. He's funny. And now we're starting to see the strategical kind of benefits of it.
The SSS, the strategical social soul. Where's the A?
A flower. So everybody goes to bed and we wake up. It's day 14 at the Becca tribe. Day 14, a.k.a. the Survivor
Auction Day.
Caroline's like, I was just on my morning stroll.
I just have to bring you guys somewhere real quick.
There's just something I want to show you.
She said Dorothy going down the yellow brick road.
Yes. And we come across just kind of a table with plates, it looks like.
I was confused. I was like, are they what are the plates? Because it's not like you saw anything. There wasn't a stand.
Yeah,
you didn't
we
see
saw
anywhere
it from behind.
It was what is this?
Yeah. So we find out that previous or similar to auctions in the new era before, they're not getting this money for free. No free handouts, no checks being cut without a little bit of work. And they have to go on the money hunt before the auction.
They said Easter came early.
Twist?
Do I like the twist? I like the twist. I like that they have to work for their money. At the end of the day, everybody had an equal chance.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I think it's a great twist. I think that it kind of emulates real life, the way Survivor is played. You are not given anything in Survivor for free or without a little bit of grit and sweat, blood, and tears. So I think that the money hunt is a really fun way to not only get the viewer excited about the auction, but get the players excited. And it creates almost like a Lord of the Flies moment where they're all like, 100%. We gotta find the money, you know? Yeah. So it's kind of this like head-to-head battle that we get like a mini challenge before the auction, before the immunity. So it's like,
it was cute.
Yeah, I like when they get running around.
How did you feel about the leaderboards of that money hunt?
I'm gonna be so honest, it's getting really hard to root for Andy. It is. Like, and it's funny because the beginning of this episode was very different for the end of this episode for Andy. So he's having this very like up and down roller coaster experience on Survivor, really high highs, really low lows. And
he has a low right now, but it's not anywhere near as low as he was in the beginning of the season. Give my man Andy his little bit of flowers. He's bummed. He didn't find a bamboo shoot. He has no money. You see Sierra, you know, you remember when you're that little kid and you're at the Easter egg hunt and there's that one kid who's got 15 eggs and you don't even have one egg.
The one sibling,
I'm Andy.
The one sibling every year that always finds the golden egg with the money.
You're the sibling who finds
never found it.
So then why don't you have sympathy for our boy?
I do, but also he walked past 87 of them.
Okay, I will.
And that's just a testament to your situational awareness and your perception in the larger scale of the game.
Yeah.
If you can't walk past a rock with a gigantic purple ribbon wrapped bamboo shoot and find that as your ally, that makes me nervous.
Also because like as a viewer, we know production is with the camera behind like
oh, you know that bitch is like trying to hold back laughter.
Like how do you not see like
so I think you know, that's the game. You win some, you lose some, you find some, you don't.
You don't.
And I like it because now, sure, Andy's there at the auction, but he can't participate.
But at least doesn't lose his vote.
Yeah, going in with no money means you can't be the person with the most amount of money.
Yeah, so we'll give him a round of applause for that.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's just how the rules are. But I mean, if you want to make lemonade out of lemons, that would be the moment to do it, for sure. You're going to need a lot of sugar for that one.
I mean...
But I would be, like, I would be upset.
Something that would upset me is that at this point, they're not, obviously, because there's 11 players, so they're not even distributed, but Gata has 4 members. You're one of 4. Sierra had the most amount of money. Yeah. Rachel and Sam both had a decent amount. I would think, hey... Throw me a bone.
Let me give him one.
Like, even if you just gave him a 20, you know? Like, let him have a chance at something.
It did, just like the young kid in me, you know, like the deciding where to sit at the lunch table portion of my soul was like, it broke my heart to see them like, oh, we'll help you get one. You know, like
Genevieve, that moment was so sneaky.
Sneak. And it wasn't even sneaky little teeny. It was sneaky little Genevieve. But that
greedy little Genevieve.
So like, I'm empathetic and I'm sympathetic for the fact that you can't partake in such an iconic Survivor moment.
Yeah.
That's what would break my heart the most being out there if I was Andy, is like, I have to just watch one of the most like legendary moments of the season, especially because they've only done it on a select few seasons.
Especially now. Yeah. The money hunt is over. The auction begins. Yes. Jeff walks out. Everyone's totaling their money. We have a zoom in on Sue. Mama looks rich.
No, they are all giving like money fans, you know, the money guns. Like, they are ready to spend this Monopoly money.
Yeah, and it looked real.
I think it.
Was it real 20s?
I don't know. I don't think it's real money. I don't know. I mean, if it is, it probably all came from Jeff. That's probably what he carries around in his wallet, you know.
Did it come from you? Nice.
No, yeah. So the auction kicks off. Everybody's ready. They got their wallets out. Their their money open. But the New Era auction is a little bit different than you may remember. The New Era auction has a twist that the person at the end of the auction, when that last item is sold, that has the most amount of money loses their vote at that night's tribal council.
Which at this point, especially when it is odd voting, there's 11 people. So that important. Is.
Yeah. How do you feel about this reinvented auction? I go back and forth with how I feel about it, because it's like, it's such a fun challenge, but it's also like, I don't know.
I also go back and forth with it, because I do miss old auction when they didn't know like when the last auction was coming, because they were bidding basically for that final advantage.
Yeah.
I do like that, because we're anticipating that who's really willing to go hungry. But this has that, but with a twist, because you're only guaranteed the first 5 items. Yeah. Every item after that, you don't know how many there's going to be. Yeah. Jeff is the one who, he picks the rock, sees what number it is. He determines how many items in the auction, and when it's done, it's done. So any item after 5, it's a gambling game. And if you're not ready to gamble, get out of the auction.
That's really what it is like you either have to kind of go with your gut instinct and feel out if there's going to be a 6th, 7th, 8th, however many items after 5, or hope that you're one of the first 5 people with enough money to just kind of outbid everybody around you.
What was your favorite item at this year's auction?
My favorite item, every auction, I have 2. I always love seeing the peanut butter bowl, because it's just so nasty.
It's so nasty in the best way.
like it actually makes my
every
skin,
individual finger, and your fingernails have nothing.
Yeah,
you're getting peanut butter and a little bit of extra dirt.
And the item that I would hope Jeff opens that little bamboo cover for is a burger.
Yeah,
I would literally get down on my hands and knees and cry if Jeff was like, here's a cheeseburger with fries. I would literally sob.
Yep, it's giving the Liz meltdown from last season.
No. Like
the Applebee's reward?
No, like, if somebody next to you is eating a cheeseburger, I think I might actually physically assault them. Like,
listen, I get it. I mean,
I
get it.
What's your favorite?
See, I'm stuck between, like, obviously the burger. Yeah. I would love the burger. I also love mac and cheese, and I don't love buffalo wings. Yeah. But if they were barbecue, girl.
Yeah. See, I'm thinking at this point in the game, any food reward is now fuel.
Yeah.
You can't
be picky.
You're just a tank. Like, so I'm thinking like Genevieve got a plate of dessert.
What is that doing?
You're going to have a sugar rush and a headache, and you're going to carb crash. That's all you're going to get out of that.
How much carb? I mean, she has the cupcakes, but
how many freaking chocolate croissants can you eat? That's just like, that's gluttonous at that point. Like, that's crazy. Like that's just an obscene amount of pastry for one person to eat, even on like a normal day.
I mean, Soul had that. Oh my gosh, Soul had that giant apple pie, but poor Gabe.
Well, no, he got the peanut butter with.
No, but his original. If it wasn't for Genevieve having the shareable, Gabe spent $660 on a coconut with cold water in it.
I mean, I'm sure it was refreshing. You know what? That tastes better than having no vote. I'll take the cold glass of water,
listen,
Jeff. Like,
in the coconut. Don't forget the coconut.
Like, that water fell out of a coconut tree.
Caroline with the fish eyes.
Wait. No, literally, I was so gagged about that. So that's the other thing I love about the auction is that not everything you get is going to be good.
No.
I do think that just like in Survivor, everything's a gamble, and in life, you take the good with the bad, you take the risk, more risk, more reward, it's covered, it's uncovered. I really, like, I feel like if I was out there, I'd have to bite the fisheye. You'd have to.
I don't think I could.
Oh my God, you'd have to.
I don't know if I could do it.
Jeff Probst staring at you, like, I'm sorry, you want that call for Survivor 50? You're biting that fisheye. Like, I'm sorry, you are. I'm eating that grub. Like, I'm sorry.
Talking about grub, the breakfast platter. So we had a breakfast platter, and it was a $200 entry. 4 people go in.
Yeah, they had to ante up here.
Listen, Sue, Sam, Rachel, Sierra,
and no, Caroline.
Caroline.
Yeah, because I was double impressed with Caroline.
Yeah.
This auction because, like you're saying, it wasn't just a highest bid item. They gave them a big breakfast spread. It had an entry fee, and Jeff goes, "You're gonna have to compete for it." I'm thinking, okay, rock paper scissors.
I'm thinking draw rocks.
Rock paper scissors
Something.
or tic tac toe, some kind of quick game. No, Jeff brings out 4 plates of live grubs about the size and color of Kyle's vegan hot dog. At this point, I would never be so excited to see a vegan hot dog in my life.
All I'm saying is that I see Sue pick that up, put it in her mouth, bite.
So that's the thing. So Jeff goes and he's like, first person to eat 2.
Not one. 2.
They were easily probably 4.5, 5 inches. I was going to say
like a good 4 inches.
He goes, eat 2. First person to completely eat them gets the breakfast platter. And right away, Sierra's like, no, I will not do it.
Takes her money out.
Gets the money back.
Which? I thought it was an entrance fee. Why did you get your $200 back?
Because
they didn't win?
Losing your money is good. They had to give it back to her. At that point, if she backed out, Jeff should have given her another $100. You don't want to try? Boom. Here's more money because you backed out. I just have to say that I would love to sit here from my couch and say, of course I'm going to bite that grub. It's the Survivor experience. But I don't know. Especially the way Jeff says, let me get you some fresh ones. Let me get you some fresh, live.
Nope. There's 3 things that I don't do. Seafood, because I'm allergic to it. Snakes, and creepy crawlers.
And women, make that 4.
4 things I don't do.
Yeah.
Once I saw that. Nope.
Yeah, once the bodily fluids and organs were falling out of Sue's mouth, I was tapped out.
I had to turn my head.
But I mean, Sam had the right approach. Throw the whole thing in and just kill it and swallow.
Yep.
Because what if you swallow that thing alive? It comes crawling back up.
Stop.
And it goes like, no. Imagine you're at the individual immunity and you're like, and it's a grub. Crazy. Nope. Other than that big moment, we have a just as big moment, but is much more secretive. It's much more quiet.
Demure.
Rachel, who was targeted and almost sent home from last week's tribal council, was given a break from the Survivor gods, well, from Soul, really, has purchased a cheeseburger, which, again, would be my pick.
For $500.
$500 cheeseburger. It better at least be Angus,
Wagyu.
Ketchup, mustard.
I want pepper jack and cheddar.
Yeah, the whole thing. A brioche bun, minimum.
Sesame seeds.
Bacon, the whole thing.
Lettuce, tomato.
I mean,
fried onion.
Okay, I'm getting hungry. So she's munching, she's crunching on this little burger, and disguised in her bowl of French fries is a wrapped up piece of paper.
I would have ate the paper.
How do you react? You would have ate the paper. Well, you would have ate the bowl.
I feel like I would have done what she did. She tried to make it, she played it low key. She tried to hide. She tried to, sneak it in her bra a little. I mean, I don't have a bra to sneak it in, but I would have done what she did. I think that she played it off very well.
How do you feel about them not making it known that there is an advantage somewhere in the auction that was purchased, not giving them all a chance to know that it existed? I don't know how I particularly feel about that, because it's like advantages, like, yeah, they're secret, but it's something like the auction. I feel like even if at the end Jeff was like, that's all sales are final, and just so you know, one of those 11 items had an advantage in it. Something like that.
I think that, I completely understand where you're coming from, but, I think that not having an announcement that there is an advantage makes it fair for everybody. I think that it gives everybody had a chance to bid for that burger.
Yeah.
That's my point of view.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just think that in such a big moment like the auction and because let's be honest, it's fair, but it's really not. Because if you start the auction and you're the first person with the most amount of money,
you're not getting the first item is not.
Well, I'm just saying you have all of the buying power. So there are some people who would never even have had a chance to purchase that advantage. Then the argument I know we'll go back to, well, they should have found more tubes with money. Sure, whatever. I just think that maybe in the auction, maybe not what she was given. I feel like that's kind of extreme to just be inconspicuously hidden in a reward. Maybe her individual immunity bucket could have been 10% of her body weight, or maybe she had an extra wrap of rope for her. It was an advantage in the immunity challenge rather than what she ended up getting.
Well, in her defense, and I will back Rachel up for this one, she didn't get the idol from the advantage. She got a
clue.
A clue to the idol. Was it hidden crazily where, like,
more than some. Listen, any idols found at camp is like, kudos to you. We need to talk about how Kyle, I just want to
Oh my god.
Kyle, not only before the show, switched from vegan to vegetarian to allow himself more options to eat while he was out on the island.
Smart.
But very smart. After 6 years of vegan, vegetarian living, decides this is the moment on Survivor and goes and purchases an item unbeknownst to him. It's buffalo chicken wings. Decides to eat them. I was honestly shocked. I was too. My brother was vegan for a long time, and when he decided to reincorporate eggs, like, even that decision, he had to make sure he got them from a local woman that, doesn't harm the chickens. Like, It's a big decision. So, Kyle, kudos to you for, dealing with that in that moment and being a good sport about it. I just felt like it should be mentioned.
He even had a moment right before he was about to take that bite. If I'm going to cave, even though I don't know if this is worth it, I'm going to do it on Survivor.
Yeah, if there's a place to kind of bend your morals.
It better be in front of Jeff.
Yeah, you're already lying. You want that Survivor 50 call. You're biting that chicken wing.
Listen, all I want to know is, Kyle, how did it taste? What would you rate the chicken wing? And have you eaten meat since?
Everybody's fed. Everybody had grubs, fish eyes, burgers, advantages, and everything in between. And we finally get back to camp.
Well, before we get back to camp, we have the recipient of a lost vote.
We do have the recipient of a lost vote. You are right.
His name is Sam.
Sam is the castaway left with the most amount of money when Jeff bangs his gavel. Judge Jeff.
I was kind of happy.
If anything, it's kind of, that kind of sucks. Because Sam was bidding. He was involved in the game. And it's not like he was sitting and waiting for something better. It just, the numbers just didn't work out in his favor. And he loses his vote, unfortunately.
That's how the cookie crumbled. We pan back to camp.
We frying pan over back to Becca.
We frying pan back to Becca, and it was definitely a little bit of a scramble. It actually wasn't that big of a scramble, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know if I would categorize it as a scramble, but I think now that the jury is in play, I think that people are really seeing the end of the game, and they're trying to place and put their ducks in a row for how they're going to get there.
Yeah.
And in what way. So
you can start to see it a lot, for sure.
We start to see kind of the formation of the roads.
We see an alliance form.
We see a lot of alliances form.
The one that I want to ask you about. The one that I'm very excited about. Sue and Genevieve. Chitty chat chat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're talking.
The Mother Alliance.
The Mother Alliance. The excitement that I had.
The round table of mothers.
Listen, they said mother hens.
No, they literally said this is a motherhood.
Motherhood for mother hen and mother goose.
This is mommy and me. No, I'm really excited because I think that Sue has a natural kind of knack for people's true intentions. We've seen it kind of like
Mm-hmm.
how Kyle was acting, kind of where Tiana lied. So I think that her kind of natural ability to feel people out and Genevieve's more strategical mindset could be really good pair together.
Oh, for sure.
I thought it was interesting that Genevieve had a very clear road to the end with the Gata 4 and the Lavo 4 to just pick the Tukus off and was like, nah, you know.
Genevieve is playing a phenomenal game.
She's playing checkers while everybody else is playing chess. And then, you know,
everybody's playing checkers while she's playing chess.
Whatever. And then Andy's playing solitaire. You know, like,
I don't even know if Andy turned the computer on this episode.
At this point in the episode, we're really seeing the female drivers are definitely in the seat. You know, they have control at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Teeny is really making a strong case for different relationships. Rachel is trying to reintegrate herself after almost going home last week. She's also trying to find an idol, you know, so very busy day.
Talking about Rachel and looking for an idol.
Yeah.
In the middle of everybody being at camp, she just stands up, grabs a machete, and walks over to the corner. Smart, goes from underneath, gets the idol, while did nobody hear, like, did no one see, like, how did she pull that off so, like, seamless? How did that make you feel?
I mean, I was impressed. I think that if you're going to swing in Survivor, you better swing big and you better swing right. You know, if you're going to hit it, you better hit it. So I think I think a woman's intuition, a person's intuition, a Survivor kind of just gut feeling of being like, there's something telling me that this is just go, do it. Like, it was a great play. I mean, she saw her moment, she took it, and I think that's a great way to kind of see the game. You have to play the game as it's in front of you. You know, because if she's sitting there, I'll get it when we come back from the immunity challenge, never gets an opportunity to, it's still sitting there. So,
I mean, everything that you said, I agree with. I think that she took the opportunity. She took her swing. Yeah. She hit it. She did well. She got away with it. And kudos for you, Rachel. Rachel finds the idol. Small little chit chat here and there.
Cute little baby, teeny little idol.
Yeah, a nice little teeny idol. A sneaky little teeny little idol that unfortunately went to Rachel. Yeah. We head over to the immunity challenge.
Yes.
First real full like solo
start to
finish solo, but 2 idols, 1 female winner, 1 male winner. I love that they did that for a challenge like this because when you have all the men and all the women, because you know you're holding the bucket, it's the twist and
the body weight.
The body weight makes a big difference.
Yeah, it is. There is kind of just a biological bias in this challenge. Soul is 3 times the size of Sue.
Yeah.
So 25% of Soul is probably 100% of Sue.
Yeah.
You know, so I do think that in these kind of strength-based challenges, having a female and a male winner is completely reasonable. And I really appreciate it because, you know, like I said, it gives more people a fair chance within their weight class. You know, wrestlers have weight classes for a reason.
Heavyweight, lightweight.
You're not going to put a lightweight up against a heavyweight. So I think that it was also a nice break and a nice kind of reward for the castaways because they had 3 BS excuses for individual immunity, you know, in the last 2 episodes. Yeah. So, you know, to add an extra necklace, I think, you know.
It was nice. It was a nice break for them for sure.
I liked it.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
We start off this challenge with a big shock for me. And I didn't think that Sam was going to be the first one out. It didn't take him that much time.
Yeah.
We lost Sam, Genevieve, and Teeny. Bang, 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 back to back. Yeah. That was a shock for me.
Yeah.
Right after Teeny goes, we see Gabe start to slip. It was...
Yeah, it's really... those kinds of challenges, they start, and it's like... I think it was Charlie last season who said the most important thing I did before I went on the island was I got one of those metal crunchers, and I worked on my grip strength. And it's these little muscle groups that you would never think of, you know? And not for nothing, I have sweaty hands. I know damn well that bar is gone the second that I try to grab it. So it's
we
like,
know you got sweaty hands.
So it's like there are little kind of funny things about these challenges that, like, if you have sweaty hands, if you don't have really big hands, if you have too big of hands, like if you were a big boy coming into this before you lost the survivor weight, like that bucket's going to be heavy.
I mean, it's true.
Because that's that double-edged sword is like you came in heavy, now you're skinny, your muscle groups are depleted, you're hungry.
And you got to hold 25% of your original body weight.
Yeah, I mean, 25% of somebody who's 100 pounds is 25 pounds.
Yeah.
So, like, even that, I would imagine Caroline, let's take Caroline. She's probably 5'9" and weighs maybe 110, 120 pounds max when she first started the game.
Maybe like 130, 140, but like, yeah. And that, yeah. Now she's probably closer to that 100, 110 range.
Now compare that to Soul.
Yeah. They're not comparable.
Probably close to 6 foot, 250.
Soul's definitely not giving me a 6 foot king, but like, yeah.
I say closer to 6 foot. Whatever. I digress.
So
I would just like to say I do have, before we get to the
excitement,
the absolute best moment of the night, I don't take a lot of notes during the challenges because I like to just watch them, but I do have good fight Caroline in here. I was really impressed by like the grit and the determination to just not allow that bucket to fall.
I mean, she did her twists, her pulls, her sits, her hangs. She really tried. She was not going out without a fight.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of castaways in this challenge, they feel that initial kind of whoop, that first twist, that first full completed like rope release, and they're like, "Oh, I'm done."
I mean, it's like a wave of anxiety. Like,
definitely.
The best part of the challenge. Well, the best part of the challenge, Rachel, you did amazing.
Yeah.
But your bucket drops. And we have the first immunity challenge win for the one and only Sue Smay.
Sue? Oh my god. Sue wins freaking immunity!
Yes!
We posted a video on TikTok, a full 3.5 minute video, like with our live reaction to this immunity challenge. When I tell you, like, martinis were almost spilled, snacks were flipped, like the dog went running, like it was a whole moment. Like I'm surprised we didn't have champagne popped, like the whole night.
I'm surprised we didn't get a noise complaint.
No, honestly, like the walls were shaking.
Yeah.
The walls were shaking, we were quaking.
And I would do it again and I don't regret it.
Literally the tsunami bust through the door and just completely drowned us in this apartment.
No, it really did.
Yeah. Before episode 1, Meet the Cast video, you can go back and clock it. We have been diehard lovers, supporters, proud parents of one Susan Smay.
Yeah.
And
Susan Marie Smay.
Susan Marie Johnson Smith III Smay. Marie. And we just have to say to Sue, we know Sue watches this podcast.
Yes, she does.
And we are so, so proud of you. We love your message. You're really out there inspiring people. I mean, even my mom, who is of a similar age group, sorry, Mom, has said, like, I'm just so impressed that she's out there. Like, I could never imagine myself out there doing something like that. So, kudos to you. I think it's about time as a Survivor fandom that we retire they're old, they're not going to be a threat.
Yeah.
Oh, they're too old to keep the tribe's strength. Because not only did she win individual immunity, she won a strength and endurance immunity. It wasn't a puzzle. It wasn't a ball balancing challenge. It was like grit your teeth and bear that shit.
And the thing for me is that, like, at least Soul's a little, like, Soul's 42. He's closer to the age of, like, Andy's 30, 31. He's got, what, a 10-year difference?
Yeah.
Sierra's, what, 23?
Yeah, the closest person in age is 17 years, which is Soul. And
then, but, like, women-wise, it's like you have these, like, mid-20s, early 30s, and then you have Sue.
Yeah.
Like, you blew us away.
We could never say, we have too much to say in one episode, Sue. We love you.
We love you.
And you know.
Congratulations.
We love you. We're so happy for you. I teared up. Like, I was almost crying. I was so happy for you. Oh, and also Kyle won for the guys.
Yeah, I was going to get there. So, Sue, we love you. You did amazing. Kyle, you win your third individual immunity. This is your third immunity in a row.
Annoying.
Listen,
good for you, but
no,
annoying.
you did great. You did a great job. I'm getting nervous for him because this really does paint the picture. Once you don't have that necklace, unless you have an idol, you're out.
Yeah. Every time Kyle wins that necklace, another ring gets added to that bullseye. And that target is getting bigger and bigger.
And bigger and bigger.
And I think there was already one on him. I mean, they were prepping pre-immunity challenge. If he loses, Kyle's the vote.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that, unfortunately now for Kyle, he has to win it.
There's going to be one of two things that are going to happen for Kyle. He's going to break a Survivor record and have the most individual immunity wins in a season, or he's gone next episode. It's one or the other.
Yeah, I do think that the rope is snapping for Kyle here, you know, because you can only win so many times.
Listen,
before you get a challenge that you just can't win, you know, and before I think all that resentment and that frustration of not winning for all of the other castaways is just more motivation to kind of pull that rug out from under you as the current reigning champ, you know.
We wrap up the immunity challenge. We get back to camp. This conversation's happening.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
A lot going on. We have the Lavo and the Gada tribe trying to make an alliance. We have the Lavo and the Tuku tribe trying to make an alliance.
Yeah, everybody wants Lavo.
Everybody wants Lavo because they are playing middle so well. I mean, they have Genevieve, they have Teeny, they have Soul. That is a great power three. They can't go wrong either direction they go.
Yeah, I think that Lavo's kind of looked at as the players who aren't playing as hard. You know, like by their tribe mates. I think Teeny is just looked at as somebody who's so fun and like really nice to be around. Mm-hmm. Soul kind of looked at as a sleeper pick, I think. And other than a few people that have picked up on Genevieve's kind of mastermind ways, puppet master ways, mm-hmm. they also think that she is kind of just going with the majority. So I think everybody they think that they can easily pull Lavo to do their bidding.
Well, yeah, they think that they can pull Lavo as straight numbers. I mean, I understand it's 4, 4, and 3. Yeah, like it makes sense. You know,
to just team up.
Yeah, to just team up and grab them. But you know, as the day goes on and you know the cracks start to crack, as we say, mm-hmm. the night starts to go down, and here we are up at Tribal Council.
Yeah, there was a lot of conversations pre-tribal that you know it went from Tuku and Lavo to Lavo and Gada, then back to Lavo and Tuku. So
we didn't really know what direction the tribal was going to go while we're walking into tribal.
How I would sum up the pre-tribal conversations is mm-hmm. everybody is now at that moment, at that point in the game where you have to juggle and negotiate your own interests and your best path to the end with everybody else's in your alliance, which is kind of how the game always goes, sure. But now as the jury's being built and you don't want to seem too in control because you don't want to end up on the jury. You don't want to seem too laid back because then you're not playing hard enough and you're an easy vote out. So seeing that kind of like ebb and flow of this is what I want, but I'm part of a larger 7 is always interesting, especially as the numbers just get smaller and smaller and smaller.
He said outwit.
Yeah, it really this is where that outwit portion of the game really kicks in. And I love this portion because it's like we see Genevieve who had a very comfortable road to final 7 with the God of 4. They were locked in. I don't think that anybody really would have messed that up until 7, and she was like, something about those 4.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not really vibing it that well.
I don't feel it. So she, chose the path less walked.
Yeah.
So to say. But we'll see. So Tribal Council.
Tribal Council comes.
Love Tribal.
We have a lot of good moments between all the castaways. The thing is, the theme here was they started off with war. They were just talking about the battle that are going on, and Gabe had great analogies, and Andy had great analogies, and you had some little input from Sam, and I feel like at this point in the game, everyone, and I don't know if you agree or not, but I feel like they're making those analogies to try to make it seem like a blindside was going to happen. To me, at least, it's the conversations are setting up for good blindside moments, and everybody kind of has their head on the swivel. Like, was that like shady to me or shady to
it's
you?
the conversations at Tribal are always so interesting because it's like you have to give Jeff an answer that is going to appease not only the people you're working with, but the people that you're not working with. I need to keep you comfortable because I don't want you to play your shot in the dark.
Yeah.
But I need to say something that's also going to let my entire alliance know that I'm voting with them. Or you make a joke, or you try to like play it off. So I think that the tribal questionnaires and the kind of overarching theme of war is so relevant right now.
Oh yes.
Because it went from, three teams battling to now everybody has a sword and shield.
Everybody has a sword and shield, but we're seeing what the lines are going to draw on.
Yeah, this is that first moment where it's like these votes are going to indicate how the rest of the game is played.
For sure. Like right now, we are deciding this very well can be the deciding vote of who's getting to the end right now. It's all going to and that Genevieve board.
Yeah, Genevieve's red string board is she's got them all circled. I will say
it might be lead into a board directed towards her.
I do think that one thing I have to say is that Caroline, you are slowly and not slowly, you are quickly jumping up my list for one of my favorites this season because
you snuck in there, girl.
She is so like immersed in the game, but also able to remove herself and be like, "Oh my god, like Genevieve, that's the move I wanted to make. Like, you go, girl."
She's like being a fan while also being a player. And
I just love those moments where it's like she's not taking it so seriously to the point where it's like Genevieve's making a move that I wanted to make. I got to get her out because she's a strategic threat, just like me.
She was like, "Yes,
it's like, girl power, period, queen."
It's the yesification.
I feel like Caroline going into this, like if we asked her in this moment, this episode, if someone asked her, like, who do you want to win? I feel like she would say, if not me, then a woman. Like,
for sure.
Caroline, I feel like is just so like she's here for the game. Like you can just tell she really appreciates the game. So
I agree.
That's my little side blurb about Caroline.
Talking about Caroline, we have a moment at Tribal where we see Rachel's kind of fiddling in her bag, fiddling in her pocket, and Caroline gives her a little eye. In that moment, I think that Caroline knew that something was up with Rachel. They didn't show anything.
Yeah.
But I think maybe next episode, and this is just me, thinking about the future, I feel like there might be a Caroline Rachel moment.
I think there might be a conversation had.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that too at first because Rachel was digging around in her bag and as we know, Rachel found an idol earlier in the episode. So
last episode, she almost got voted off.
Yeah, so Rachel ends up playing her shot in the dark.
Which was a shock.
A shot in the dark, more like a shock in the dark.
A shock.
So I think, to your point about that conversation that might be had, I think that now, since the shot in the dark was played, that conversation might not happen. Because it's like, oh, she was rummaging around in her bag
for her shot in the dark.
So I don't know. Caroline might bring it up. I think that she very well might still be suspicious. But I want to focus for a second before we get into who was voted off. Rachel, this moment. Like, I still can't get over the shot in the dark play. You have it for a reason. Play it. I feel like that's what we always say. Like, if you're uncomfortable, you're feeling a certain way, to do it. Play your idol, play your shot in the dark, do whatever you're going to do. But if she wanted guaranteed safety and she really, really had that feeling, why not play your idol?
I agree with you. Because if I was her and I didn't the votes did go my way and I went home with an idol, especially because of last season, I would have been so mad.
Yeah.
So mad.
I mean, it ended up working out for her. Rachel was not the one who was voted off this episode. So, I mean, kudos to her. She kind of I guess she got a little bit lucky. I don't know how I would describe it. I mean, she wanted that safety, but I think she was maybe just trying to cover her butt a little bit. So she
Yeah.
was like, I don't think it's me, but it might be. So let me use my shot in the dark instead of burning my idol. So, I mean, kudos to that. It worked out for you. You trusted your instinct and it worked. So, snaps to you. Um,
We get to voting.
yeah, so Rachel didn't vote
Sam,
and Sam didn't vote.
yeah, Sam
Sorry,
and
you go
Ra-
ahead. You say that.
Sam didn't vote. Rachel didn't vote. So we go from 11 votes to 9.
Yeah.
And this is our first big vote. We're
This
not
is
really.
the first jury member.
Yeah, and I mean, that's 2 Gata members that don't have a vote and 2 Tuku members that are with immunity.
Right.
So we're crossing off the list right now. And
Yeah.
this moment, Lavo has the upper hand. They have the majority. It's 3 of them, 2 of each other. And as we saw in the results, which we'll get to, Lavo kind of they drew the direction. At the end, they steered this ship to whatever place they were going to go find the treasure.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately what kind of was that swaying ultimate like nail in the coffin for Genevieve to influence the Lavo 3 to jump ship to Tuku. If we're voting with you in this very first vote, Sam can't vote. Now, we didn't know this, but Rachel can't vote. Why would we want to work with you?
You wouldn't.
You don't have any leverage. You don't have anything to now benefit the Lavo 3 to pull that majority. So because before this, they needed 6 with Sam not voting. Or no, 10. There's 11 people, 1 minus 1 vote, 10, so 6 would have been the majority.
Yeah.
So, they wouldn't even have had 6 people that were voting at that point, so.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So
it's a lot.
Even if they went with Lavo or Gata, if the Lavo 3 went with the Gata 4, they wouldn't have been able to have a majority if all things stayed the same.
Yeah.
If Rachel played her shot in the dark, blah, blah, whatever. So interesting to see. I think that the Lavo 3 have set themselves up in a really great spot. And I'm excited to see what happens.
So, as travel comes to an end, we have the voting and we have a tie.
Yeah.
We have our first revote. It is 4 votes Sam, 4 votes Sierra, 1 vote Gabe. And this is a very different revote than we've had in the past because usually Sam and Sierra wouldn't vote in the revote.
Yeah.
But because Sierra voted in the past vote and Rachel did not vote in that past vote, Rachel and Sam were voided out of a vote, and Sierra was able to vote. And as we saw in the results, Sierra voted for Sam, and then everyone else voted for Sierra.
Yeah, another Survivor first. This episode had a few Survivor firsts. I have them written. We had a revote where one of the 2 possible eliminatees voted again. That's never happened before. We had an unknown reward purchased in an auction, and we had an auction ante up bet with Grubs. So we had 4 kind of very new moments to the Survivor new era.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately, I'll be honest with you, we both called Sierra's number on this episode.
Yeah.
For us, I think she's a super sweet girl. She seems super nice, super genuine. She didn't really do anything for me.
I'm going to call it right here. You voting out Annika from that moment to now, I knew you were not going to go that far. Because you ruined the Breadwinners Alliance and you no longer had the power. Sam held it all. People saw through the cracks. You and Sam were already looked at to be a duo.
Yeah, I think
you're the only public duo. One of you had to go, and unfortunately, Sam had better connections. That's really what it is.
I'm honestly shocked they didn't go for Sam just because of the individual immunities that are on their way.
Yeah, but if you look at his track record,
I know.
Not to be the guy, but he's not really doing the best in individual immunity.
Yeah, I just feel like
for possibility's sake.
Just for the scenario. I mean, Sierra's record is just as bad as his. So.
I mean, yeah. I mean, she's made it past him every time. But I understand. Neither of them have made it far enough to win. They've never made it to the finals of an immunity. So
yeah, so I just think it was an interesting choice on the Sierra thing, especially since a lot of the women of the Becca tribe were still throwing out the idea of a women's alliance.
Yeah.
So, we did see a moment from Teeny discussing, like, if it was my choice, it would be Sam, trying to protect some of the women in this tribe, but I can't push too hard because then it'll backfire. So I think it was interesting. I think that ultimately, Soul was really the one who got his way.
He did. He wanted Rachel to stay.
Yeah. And that little wink.
Oh, that was cute. That was cute. You better protect her, girl.
Oh. Yeah, I love that. So I think Soul is finally, he may not be in the driver's seat, but he's in the passenger
definitely in the
seat.
car.
He's in the car now.
Yeah.
He might be strapped to the roof,
but he's there.
But he's on the journey. So final thoughts on Sierra. What did you think?
Final thoughts on Sierra, my chicken girl, as I call you.
The chicken warrior.
I think that as somebody who lives in Philadelphia, you live in Phoenixville, you're very close by. You are basically a neighbor to us. Okay. Thank you for all you do as a first responder. You seem like a great person out of the game. I think that you played a great game. You were delightful to see on TV. You had great style. I thought that sweater.
I love that cardigan.
Very cute. Honestly, I do hope to see you in the future. I don't know if we're going to because you aren't that memorable. But, I
have to agree with you.
Everyone plays a role.
Yeah, everybody gets picked for a reason. I think objectively, my opinions on Sierra, like, taking out any personal comments, anything about her as a human being, she seems like a great lady. I don't know her. I only know the character that we were presented by editing on TV. And the person that I was presented on screen, for me, I just didn't connect with. I didn't get moments with Sierra where she felt like she was opening up to the Survivor experience. I feel like she was very guarded, and that unfortunately a lot of her decisions in the game led to the decisions being made by someone else. So I think that for me with Sierra, I would have loved her to have a bit more of an open experience, I think. Like, we didn't get any of those insights to her life other than the fact that she was a pageant queen at one point.
She was a pageant queen.
So, and that she likes chickens, that she was protecting the chickens. So I think for me, I just didn't connect with her personally.
Yeah.
Whereas some of the other players, like, I have made like more emotional ties with. But you seem like a great lady. I'm glad that you were on this season. I do think Sierra is lined up to be an extremely bitter juror. We'll have to see.
We'll have to see.
That look, that over-the-shoulder look, Teeny leans back. That look could have cut steel.
That look could cost Teeny $1 million.
That's the shut that up, you're dead.
That's the Maria to Charlie look from last season.
That is the you didn't take the chicken out of the freezer look from your mom. Like, you're dead.
Yes.
So
you're running downstairs to go put the dishes away.
Yeah, like, I'm excited. We're officially building our jury. Sierra. Episode 8 becomes our first juror. So I'm excited to see who follows. Yeah. And, we had some great moments. Sue, congratulations again.
Yes,
this has, been a very good episode.
Yeah, and that's your reality check for episode 8 of Survivor Season 47. We had some nice twists, some nice new alliances, and some nice yummy grub. And
grubs.
And some grubs.
Some
and not so yummy grubs.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to see you guys next week for Survivor Season 47, Episode 9.
Wow.
We are getting there.
We're officially past the halfway point next week.
Yeah.
It's so exciting. So we'll see you back here next time.
Bye.